Next on Worcester News Tonight, labor unions and the election. A Labor Day breakfast gets political with the election 2 months away. Plus, we'll have a look at the proper pronunciation of Webster Lake, which is the longest named lake in the country. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Madison. We'll get to those stories in a little bit, but first we begin tonight in West Boylston, where police are looking for a man who robbed a bank there last week. Police say a man entered the bank and gave a note to the teller demanding money, but did not show a weapon. Police are describing the suspect as extremely dangerous and almost caught him on Sunday during a high-speed chase. He is described as 6-foot-tall white male with dark markings on his face. Police believe he's the same man who set off a manhunt in Berlin on Sunday. He is considered armed and dangerous. Anyone with any information is urged to call state police. To the Labor Day holiday and dozens gathering in Worcester to look at the work being done in the community. The annual Labor Breakfast also marks the unofficial start of the political season, and several prominent Democrats took the opportunity to go after Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. Our Rosalind Flaherty reports.
All the incredible things that all of you do in our community each and every day.
On a day dedicated to celebrating hardworking Americans, hundreds of labor leaders, union members, and supporters of labor gathered at the annual Labor Day breakfast.
It's to celebrate working people and all of the accomplishments.
Worcester City Councilor Mo Bergman and the assistant to the president of the Massachusetts AFL-CIO on workforce development, Robert Bauer, received awards for their distinguished community service.
I try hard as a city councilor to remember that bread and butter of any city is the workers.
We're working with community groups and unions to bridge the gap to help create opportunities for women and people of color in the building trades.
The breakfast took a political turn as leaders touched upon a Massachusetts proposal to expand charter schools, a global trade pact, and a proposal to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Support our public schools. And usually the people who are, clamoring the most about charter schools have never stepped foot in a public school classroom.
If we move to $15 per hour, 57% of full-time workers in Massachusetts would benefit.
And with 2 months until the presidential election, the state's senior U.S. senator led a rally against Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump.
Donald Trump looks down from the top of Trump Tower and claims he sees the challenges facing working families.
Look at his record. I mean, his whole life has been built on exploiting workers in this country.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Charlton police asking for the public's help locating a woman missing since last week. Police say Christina Picor hasn't been in contact with her family for a few days, and they are concerned about where she is. Picor drives a red 1998 Ford Escort with a gray door. Anyone with any information is urged to contact the Charlton Police Department. Police seized cocaine from a Worcester man during a traffic stop over the weekend. In total, 95 grams of cocaine, which you see there, was taken from 22-year-old Nathaniel Hernandez Reyes while he was riding a dirt bike on Wellington Street. Police say an officer asked for his license, but Hernandez refused, and when the officers tried to stop him, he ran down Chandler Street. A man driving an 18-wheeler helped the police catch Hernandez. He is charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and trafficking Class B substance. An officer at Framingham State University banned from campus after an incident over the weekend. Officer Wilter Dormoville is accused of lewd behavior. Not many details are known about the incident or if a student was involved, but the campus is investigating. What is one of the highest honors in the Catholic Church? Yesterday, Mother Theresa was recognized as a saint. Pope Francis led a mass at the Vatican to canonize Mother Theresa. Before her death 19 years ago, the nun won a Nobel Peace Prize and was known for her work with the poor and impoverished. In the 70s, Mother Theresa was given an honorary degree from the College of the Holy Cross. Professor Matthew Schmaltz got to meet Mother Theresa, says it's a significant honor.
That the process, which normally takes decades, was relatively quick. And that in some ways reflects changing standards about canonization initiated by John Paul II, but also reflects the fact of how popular she was and how much she touched people, both Catholics and non-Catholics.
Professor Schmaltz met Mother Teresa actually at an event several years ago. Pictures from Mother Teresa's visit and a letter she wrote to the school are on display in the campus library. Well, many are spending this Labor Day weekend on the beach or by the water before it's time to go back to work tomorrow. And one spot which has a lot of visitors during the summer is in Webster and also features a very interesting name. It was a beautiful day to be on a boat and on the lake in Webster.
I've known about this for a long time, so got her up here and we're excited to go out on it today.
Many in central Massachusetts are familiar with the lake and its uniquely long name.
Webster Lake, I don't want to say the whole name because I don't want to botch it for you.
It begins with a C and ends with a G. So how do you say it?
Webster Lake, yeah, that's what it's mostly known by.
Webster Lake is one of the names given to the lake with 17 miles of shoreline. But surely someone in town must know its proper pronunciation.
I just say.
Okay, let's back up for a second. What about the meaning of the long name?
You fish on your side, I fish on mine, no one fishes in the middle.
Well, that depends on who you talk to.
That's actually, from what I understand, not the case. It actually means meeting point at the boundary, which is the official name for it.
The lake was home to the Nipmuc tribe, and the name is the longest in the world.
Lake Chagagagog Manchagagog.
Hang on a second. Let's look at just how long the name is. 14 syllables, 45 letters, and the letter G appears 15 times. The staff at Indian Ranch say visitors are puzzled by its spelling, too.
They attempt it, and it's kind of comical, but it's the longest named lake in the world.
Fortunately, the locals have had years of practice.
Lake Chagagagog Manchagagog Chagabangamog.
Chagagagog Manchagagog Chabangagungamog.
Simple, right?
Yeah, I don't know why they have a problem.
See, there you go. That's how it's said. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Webster Lake is what is commonly referred to, and people we spoke with actually said that there's been some confusion as to whether Webster Lake and Lake C, I'll just call it, are the same lake, but they aren't. If you can say it the right spelling and right pronunciation, count yourself among the fortunate. Well, hundreds in central Massachusetts gathered for Charlton Old Home Day. The annual event draws vendors from all over the state on the last unofficial weekend of summer. Our Brittany Schaefer spent the day in Charleston and has this report.
If you really want to test how good you are, you run this race.
Hundreds of central Massachusetts residents celebrate Labor Day by working out. Charlton held its 50th annual 5-mile road race Monday during Charlton Old Home Day.
This is the kind of race that draws a lot of good runners. It's a very challenging race because of the hills involved.
Tradition, I've been here since 1974, so that's 42 years.
The weather may have been cloudy, but runners say it was the perfect weather for the race.
The weather was perfect for running compared to, running some of the races over the past summer in the 90 degrees. This is great.
The Labor Day road race festivities included hundreds of children completing a 1K.
This is our second year doing the 1K. It's called a fun run for kids. And we have a bunch of kids signed up, and we're really excited.
When we did it first, our goal was to have 40 children. We ended up having 109. This year, we're going to be beyond that. Yeah. We're expecting close to 150.
Fairgoers say this is a fun way to get the whole family involved for Labor Day.
The kids run, whether it's 1K or 1 mile, and the kids love it.
She's been training the last 2 weeks for the race.
I want to win. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester.